Tonight, the race against time to find the Surrey businessman and his son on board a submarine missing somewhere near the wreck of the Titanic. The pair travelled from Surbiton to Canada for the trip of a lifetime, but the vessel lost contact 2 days ago, hundreds of miles out to sea and thousands of feet underwater. Woking's financial woes worsen as a special meeting decides what's next for the council, which is £2 billion in debt. Will the row over Euless drive the vote in the Uxbridge by-election? The Conservative candidate in Boris Johnson's former constituency certainly thinks so. And Running Man, the London accountant, breaking records. Good evening. It is a deep water search for a father and his son, which is becoming more worrying by the hour. Businessman Shahzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son Suleiman travelled from their home in Surbiton to board a submarine which takes tourists to view the wreck of the Titanic. The sub went missing hundreds of miles off the coast of Canada in the early hours of Sunday and is now running out of air. 3 other people are on board the vessel, which was more than 12,000 feet underwater when it lost signal. As Cafok Patternau reports, the search to find it is a race against time.
Was, in prehistoric terms, considered to be effeminate.
He's one of the UK's wealthiest businessmen. A board member of the Princess Trust, trustee of the British Asian Trust and vice chairman of the multi-million Engro Corporation. Last Sunday, Shahzada Dawood boarded this submarine along with his 19-year-old son and 3 other crew members. Their plan was to embark on a 13,000 feet dive into the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean with the aim of visiting the remnants of the sunken Titanic ship. They came close, and it was then that their vessel lost signal, prompting the start of a rescue mission from the sea, land and air.
So we're working very closely at this point to make sure that we're doing everything that we can do to locate the submersible and rescue those on board.
It's understood that the submarine has a supply of 96 hours worth of oxygen. Now in its 3rd day missing, friends, family and colleagues of Shahzada Dawood are no doubt fearing the worst and hoping for good news. The Princess Trust told ITV that they are shocked by this awful news and praying for a rescue. His family said they are praying to Allah for the safe return of their family members, and from his colleagues at Engro more prayers for a swift and safe return. Every hope, every action is being deployed in this race against time. Earlier today, a Canadian aircraft joined in the search by deploying sonar sensors into the ocean, the point of which is to locate the vessel through the use of sound waves as search parties reach a critical point in this mission. These journeys have been attempted before, and as experienced divers know all too well, they are fraught with danger.
It's very hard to even imagine how you react. I can only liken it to one occasion when we actually were diving and we got caught under the stern section in the Nautil, the French submersible, and we lost communication with the surface because the sonar buoy was blanked by a piece of wreckage. But that was about 4 hours, and it's a long 4 hours.
It's estimated that the Titan submarine now has less than 50 hours left of oxygen. 50 hours to rescue Shahzada and his son and return them to the life and home they made in Surrey. Kaf Opata, ITV News.
Next tonight, Woking Council has almost £2 billion worth of debt after failed investments led to them effectively declaring bankruptcy earlier in the month. In an hour's time, an extraordinary general meeting will start. On the agenda, what next? Council services, including social care, waste collection and libraries, are ring-fenced, but government help is now needed to support them. Sam Holders spent the day in Woking talking to those affected and those tasked with clearing up the mess.
Huge building projects like this have left Woking Council with towering debt, the equivalent of £19,000 per resident, a total of £1.9 billion. This development, Victoria Square, cost £700 million. The council is essentially bankrupt. The only way to balance the books will almost certainly be widespread cuts to services and grants that help charities in the area. For Ian, shop mobility is a lifeline. They provide a scooter to go shopping in the town centre for a nominal fee. But the service is dependent on money from the council.
If I didn't have it, I couldn't walk the distance round and in and out of shops. So without shop mobility, I'd have to stay at home.
Disastrous investment decisions during the previous Conservative administration means the amount the council owes on interest payments alone is more than 4 times its annual income. This is your party's fault, isn't it?
No, no, I wouldn't say that entirely.
But it's as a result of terrible investments.
No, again, I wouldn't say that either. I would say, if you look at the fault primarily lies, as far as I'm concerned, in a lack of strategic financial policy. So a lot of the investments are absolutely sound.
But some of them.
But some of them
are worth half of what you paid for them.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you look at Victoria Place, for example, we always knew as a regeneration project that it would be worth less once it was originally completed. Hence why it was done over a long period of time.
But then it doesn't make financial sense, does it? The new Lib Dem-run council has promised essential services will be protected, like bin collection and adult social care.
We're working to get a council that has sustainable finances and lives within its means. It's going to take a few years. We haven't shied away from saying that there will be difficult decisions to make.
This is another of the council's massive construction projects, the regeneration of the suburb of Shearwater. £115 million has already been spent to build renewable homes here, but that's just half of the planned total. With the council having run out of money, it's not clear how it will actually be finished. Tonight, the council will vote on whether to start the process of stopping all but essential spending and pave the way towards a new bare-bones budget. Here in Woking, all that glitters is far from gold. Sam Holder, ITV News.
A man has denied stabbing a woman to death in Westminster nearly 30 years ago. 50-year-old Sandip Patel was charged with the murder of Marina Koppel in March this year after the Met's special casework team reopened the investigation 3 decades after her death. Ms Koppel was attacked at her home in Chiltern Street in August 1994. A report on progress made after the strip search by police of a black schoolgirl in Hackney known as Child Q has found organisations need to work together to bring change. A special Hackney Council panel found concerns about racism and safeguarding should be addressed by all public services. A social media influencer has avoided jail after admitting stalking 3 Premier League footballers. Ola Melissa Sloan, who nicknamed herself Devil Baby, was handed a suspended sentence at Westminster Magistrates Court. She targeted Chelsea's Mason Mount after a one-off affair, his teammate Ben Chilwell and Brighton's Billy Gilmore. Next, Euless Expansion in Uxbridge. Could Sadiq Khan's flagship policy be the driver for voters in the upcoming by-election? Boris Johnson's seat is up for grabs and the Tories are hoping to avoid an embarrassing loss by winning round people fed up by the charges. Our political correspondent Simon Harris has been to talk to the candidates, hoping to replace the former Prime Minister.
Uxbridge has had a visit from the anti-Euless vigilantes. These newly installed cameras have had their cables cut. They're just the latest to be attacked. Others have been sprayed with silly string. The Tory candidate, hoping to replace Boris Johnson as local MP, believes his opposition to Euless is a vote winner.
And the resounding message from the doorsteps I'm talking to is that they don't want it and they want me to be their voice at the highest possible level to ensure that this is stopped.
If Labour wins the election, would you accept that the battle over Euless is lost?
I think if Labour wins this election, it opens the door for Euless to be expanded across the constituency.
Sadiq Khan's controversial plan to expand Euless in August would bring this part of West London into the clean air zone. Drivers of older cars and vans would be forced to pay £12.50 a day. Uxbridge is in the London borough of Hillingdon, one of 5 councils hoping to get the Euless extension declared unlawful. The case is due to be heard in the High Court on July the 4th, just over 2 weeks before polling day. Labour's candidate needs to overturn a Conservative majority of just over 7,000 to win the seat of Uxbridge and South Ruislip.
I think Euless is a factor, but there is so much more that we also need to fix. And I'm the only.
Do you worry that Euless will skew the vote?
I think what I'm doing is going out and talking to people about that frustration, telling them the difference I'll make on Euless. I think the Tories are just talking the issue up because they've got absolutely nothing else to talk about.
Do you think the Euless expansion should be put on hold?
No, I think it should go through, as the Lib Dems believe. Denying climate action is, delaying climate action is actually a form of climate denial.
Boris Johnson won this seat 3 times, the first in 2015. But 10 days ago, he walked away in a fit of pique after the Commons Privileges Committee found him guilty of lying over Partygate. At the start of June, Eleni managed to get a selfie with her MP. She used to be a fan, but not now.
Well, at the beginning, I think he wasn't too bad because he did the Brexit and he did quite a few other things.
Would you like to see him back as your MP?
No, not ever again.
Is Blaise Bakish going to be the next MP for Uxbridge and South Ruislip?
I sure as hell hope I am.
Is Danny Beales the next MP for Uxbridge and South Ruislip?
Well, that'll be up to the voters on the 20th of July. I certainly hope so.
Is Steve Tuckwell going to be the next MP for Uxbridge and South Ruislip?
I am very confident that's going to be the case.
Euless may or may not be a defining issue in the election, but Sadiq Khan has made it clear, whatever the result, he's not changing course. Simon Harris, ITV News, Uxbridge.
Still to come on the programme, the fastest accountant in the world. Yes, really. And the marathon effort bringing joy to these kids in Kingston Hospital. But first, the man accused of killing North London teenager Grace O'Malley Kumar has appeared in court today. Grace was 19 and studying at Nottingham University. Valdo Kalukane is also accused of the murders of another student, Barnaby Webber, and Ian Coates, who was a school caretaker. Phil Brewster was in court and sent us this update.
It's now a week since Grace O'Malley Kumar was killed in an horrific attack here in Nottingham. The 19-year-old from North East London died after being stabbed, along with fellow student Barnaby Webber and school caretaker Ian Coates. Last Thursday, Grace's parents were among hundreds of people who attended a vigil here at Nottingham's Old Market Square, where they spoke of their pride in their daughter at her sporting and educational achievements, but also their devastation at news of her death. Well, today, the man accused of her murder and that of Barnaby Webber and Ian Coates appeared at Nottingham Crown Court. Valdo Kalukane is also charged with attempting to murder 3 pedestrians by driving a van at them. Flanked by 5 security guards in the dock and wearing a grey jumper and tracksuit, Kalukane was not asked to enter a plea. When asked to identify himself, he replied, "My name is Adam Mendes." The judge then adjourned the case until September for a plea hearing. A provisional trial date has also been set for January the 12th of next year. No application for bail was made, and the defendant was remanded back into custody.
Well, the evening news follows us at 6:30. Here's Mary with the details.
Coming up, it is a race against time to find the missing submarine on a voyage to the Titanic shipwreck. Among the passengers aboard are 3 British men. The amount of emergency oxygen on board is running lower with every passing minute. We'll have all the details as Romanian prosecutors announce social media influencer Andrew Tate and his brother have been charged with rape and human trafficking. And the future king meets the queens of football ahead of the Lionesses' World Cup campaign. Would you join me for those stories and more at 6:30?
Now, here's a question for you. What can be more exciting than life as a chartered accountant? Whether that is excelling at Excel or just talking tax returns, that life wasn't quite enough for Eugene Amudadzi. He's just done this.
Can't slow me down, I'm like a hurricane. Can't stop me now, coming at you like a bullet train.
He's run 100 metres in under 10 seconds, placing him 4th on the British all-time list. Not bad for someone who only took up the sport a few years ago. Eugene, the world's fastest accountant, as he's become known, joins me now. Hello, Eugene. This is incredible. What a moment. You certainly put your money where your mouth is. Did you like that? What did that feel like doing that?
Literally, it's hard to describe. So obviously, up until that point, I've never ever looked across the clock and seen 3 numbers. I've never looked across and seen a 9. So I remember feeling like, okay, I feel like I'm flying here. I cross the line, I look over and I see 9. I didn't even see the 93 afterwards. And I just went crazy.
That's amazing.
I mean,
you're in the top league now, but you only started training seriously when you were 26. You're 30 now. The question I have for you is, why wasn't your talent noticed sooner?
It was definitely noticed. I think growing up, you had, PE teachers telling your parents, get him in a club. He could make the London 2012 Olympics. And, my parents always, was like, but I think I come from a West African household, so Ghanaian, and they pushed academics so much. So I guess for me, doing athletics was just something I could enjoy, something I could have fun with. I didn't have to sort of make it anything. So it was noticed, but for me, it was just somewhere to have a bit of fun with. And the story of getting into it was an interesting one. My best friend, Ben, shout out to him. One day we were playing football at a track in London and there was an athletics meet going on actually. So we were on the pitches behind and he looked over to me and he said, I think you could put a pair of spikes on and beat these guys. I think the 100 metres that day was won in like 11:3. And he asked me the question, he said to me, why have you never tried this? You were fast at school. My boys had been giving me grief my whole life. If I had your talent, I would have done this, I would have done that. Yeah. And I didn't have an answer for him. And I guess God would have it that was the day something in me just woke up and said, okay, cool, let's give it a go. Let's see what we can do. But I didn't have any other expectation other than this is something new, have some fun, try it out.
Amazing. Like, you're just one of these people. You're just good at everything, right? Because you're clever as well. I mean, so how do you balance and juggle being an accountant, the day job with all the training?
You have to have an incredible support team, and I've got to shout out my wife. My wife has been incredible. I mean, when we got married, I hadn't started yet. We've been married 5 years on Thursday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And, she's putting up with me having to fly around Europe and race and stuff like that. So she really holds me down and releases me to do that. I've got a great company that I work for, Barclay Group, a subsidiary of Barclay Group PLC.
Get that in there, yeah.
St. George. You have to, you know what I mean? You heard that, guys. And, they really do support me. They let me work remotely and, they're always asking me what's going on when I race. Oh, can we watch it? So, again, it's really encouraging to have an employer who, they get that, okay, look, he's got this really thing he's passionate about and they support it. So they're great. And look, my team, my coach, Steve Fudge, my osteo, Rob, my S&C coach, Jermaine, Franchise Fit, they're all awesome. I mean, besides just, helping me in track, just life, navigating, juggling everything. So yeah, I've got an incredible support team that I'm truly thankful for.
Really, you've got a busy life, haven't you? So 9.93, wasn't it? That was your record so far. Can you beat it?
By the grace of God. By the grace of God, yes. I'm a man of faith and I believe everyone's got a talent, right? And I've given it to God, but I've got a part to play. I've got to make sure I take care of what I need to do, sleep well, eat right, really dedicate myself to my craft. And I always say it to everyone, I'm not a result guy, I'm a process guy. So it's, okay, am I making the right steps along the way? I believe that by God's grace, the results will take care of themselves. So look, people will always find reasons why you can't do something. I'd like to think that my story and my journey is a testament of why that's not the case. So for me, it's why can't I continue to excel? So I ain't got any times or anything like that in my mind. I just want to continue to excel, enjoy it first and foremost, and mainly give God glory because, without him, this wouldn't be possible.
Absolutely, Eugene. Thank you so much indeed for coming on. Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Other news now, a North London restaurant has won a grant of £8,000 from Beyoncé's charitable foundation. Chukwu's, which serves Nigerian tapas in Tottenham, just down the road from where Beyoncé recently performed sold-out shows, said the money would help them survive. The restaurant opened in 2020 and suffered the financial impact of the COVID lockdowns. Researchers from University College London have discovered that an afternoon nap is good for the brain. The team said half-an-hour snooze could help the brain be bigger for longer, but recognised that the practice may be frowned upon in many careers. And the Princess of Wales reopened the National Portrait Gallery this morning after an extensive refurbishment programme. The Central London Museum was closed for 3 years, so the listed building and its galleries could be restored. The team have also acquired 50 new pieces, which visitors will be able to see from this Thursday. The largest collection of Dame Vivienne Westwood's clothes since her death last year are on display today before going under the hammer. Mannequins at a Bermondsey auction house have been dressed in some of the designer's most famous pieces, charting her career from the 70s until 2008. The auctioneer has reflected on how influential she was in London and beyond.
Vivienne Westwood, she began as an anarchist in the 70s, and then actually she became an irreverent part of fashion establishment to a degree. Where Vivienne led, lots of other designers, and especially a lot of the Paris fashion houses, followed. She's been so inspirational.
Now, the London Marathon is not just a physical challenge, but for many a fundraising one too. Millions are raised and worthwhile causes benefit. Starlight is a charity which provides games and toys for kids in hospital. Today, some of those runners who raced for them went to Kingston Hospital to see their efforts being enjoyed. Rags Martel went too.
From running to giving, having raised marathon money. This is the moment donations turn into gifts for sick children.
What did you see?
What was it like seeing the children's faces today?
It was phenomenal. I don't think I've had goosebumps this often kind of in my life. It's seeing the pure joy in their faces and seeing that kind of the fundraising we've done has really made a huge difference. The children here, they're going through such a lot, and kind of just protecting that power of play and giving that bit of fun to them is so important.
I chose Starlight to run for, to see the work that the charity put in to make these child's lives just that little bit better with a little bit of play. It's amazing.
Coming into a sort of award like this is just, and seeing their faces when they the expectation when they saw what we had in our hands was just really, really excellent.
At the London Marathon, they ran for Starlight, a charity that helps children in healthcare keep playing.
Starlight are a massive advocate of play in hospital just because it aids recovery, it normalises the hospital environment, it makes children feel normal as well. It's the one thing that all children can do is play, so they shouldn't stop doing that whilst they're in hospital.
Among those receiving gifts, Niklaus, who's asthmatic and has been on a drip with a lung infection since the weekend.
What was it like seeing a smile after a difficult few days in hospital?
It was amazing. It's kind of all I've really wanted. He's been begging and pleading just to come to the playroom. So to come to the playroom and get like all these toys, it's been like a highlight.
And how happy are you with your present?
100% happy.
Woody has Down syndrome and has been here even longer.
And how long have you been in hospital?
Well, 6 months.
6 months?
Yes.
Wow. And how important is it to play?
10.
10 out of 10.
We've spent months and years living in hospitals, and we're just so grateful to Starlight and the resources that they bring, because if you've never had a child in hospital, you don't know how long the day is.
The kids here still need medical attention, but at least they can play during their treatment. Rags Martel, ITV News, Kingston Hospital.
Oh, lovely. Now, Sally's here. Sally had a terrible night's sleep last night. Please tell me it will not happen tonight.
Well, I can't guarantee, Carolyn. It depends what your pre-bed routine is, doesn't it? You know, that is always the key to a good sleep. Are you having lavender tea or whatever? No, sorry, I do actually quite like lavender tea. It's a bit stuffy. It's probably going to be fairly similar tonight. I'm actually not finding it too bad. It might be all right the next couple of days. It depends on your setup, but we're going to get humid again into the weekend, I'm afraid, and hotter as well. Here we go. Let's take a look.
ITV London weekday weather is sponsored by Octopus Electric Vehicles. Car, charger, and energy.
Hello again. I hope you had a lovely day. I hope you managed to get some rain. I know it's not everyone's favourite thing, but we do need it, finally, and I hope you didn't get too much. Tomorrow should be a brighter, drier day, a few showers around, and as we go through the week, fewer showers, still getting drier and warmer too. We could get up to 30 degrees by the weekend. Keep an eye on that for you. As for this evening, any showers from earlier generally fading out. Some evening sunshine, hopefully, heading your way. And overnight, quite quiet. There might be a little bit of mist and fog forming warming by first thing tomorrow morning. Our temperatures very similar to last night, down to the low to mid-teens. Still a little bit humid though. And as we go into tomorrow, that mist will burn off pretty quickly. You can see quite a decent start. It'll be brighter than it was this morning. There'll be some cloud around though. And as we go into the late morning and afternoon, that's when we'll start to see a few showers cropping up, but they are again hit and miss. And it looks like the further southeast you live, the more likely you won't see any at all. It's quite warm as well, highs of 23 to 27 with probably a little bit more sunshine tomorrow. And then a very nice evening again, bit of cloud, maybe a shower here or there, but they are easing off. And the outlook shows things generally improving as we go through the week, but actually getting quite warm as we head into the weekend, maybe even hot, you might say. Let's take a look at the pollen.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
So the pollen is fluctuating a little bit, but not between anything particularly pleasing. Very high and high. If you've had any showers, that might help a touch, but generally it's pretty difficult at the moment with grass and wheat pollen. I'll see you later on. Cheerio.
Finally, we've launched this year's search for a fantastic fundraiser to represent ITV News London at the Daily Mirror Pride of Britain Awards, which takes place later this year. And we need your help. Yes, it's time to say thank you to the people who work tirelessly to support charities and good causes of all sizes. Here's how you can get involved.
The Daily Mirror Pride of Britain Awards is one of the biggest events in the showbiz calendar, but it's the real people, not the celebrities, who are the stars of the show. And each year, one fantastic fundraiser gets to represent ITV London and attends the awards at Grosvenor House. They're even in with a chance of winning the overall ITV Regional Fundraiser of the Year award. Last year, our regional fundraiser was Ian Conway. Along with Geoffrey the Giraffe, he's continuing the memory of his daughter Louise after losing her to leukemia. He raised more than £15,000 for Great Ormond Street Hospital. And now we need your help to find this year's ITV London winner. Here's the awards host to tell us why.
The Pride of Britain Awards are all about the special people who make our world a better place to live in. And the ITV Regional Fundraiser Awards is where you come in, because we're looking for those people who go that extra mile to raise money. We want you to nominate them. Now, it doesn't matter how much money or how little they raise. This award is all about how they're doing it, why they're doing it, and their selfless determination to inspire others.
So if you'd like to nominate someone to be our Regional Fundraiser of the Year, you can head to our website. That's itv.com/Pride of Britain. You can only nominate individuals and they must be aged 18 years or over. If you are under the age of 18, please get permission from a parent or guardian before you nominate. The closing date for nominations is Friday the 6th of August at 11:59 p.m. and full terms and conditions and our privacy notice can be found on our website.
And that's it from us. The ITV News at 6:30 is up next with Mary. But for now, from all of us on the London team, enjoy your evening. Goodbye.